a little bit trickier. All alone here.
Well, you have Team Soul. They are just north of them in their warehouses. So, I mean, we might see an early clash coming in soon here.
It's a smart play by Soul. Those warehouses are tier 3 loot spots. They've got good enough stuff that you can get equipped and put up a good fight. The problem is, if they choose to take the fight to Busan, they have to cross that open road area. So it's either move fast and fight or loot and run.
Well, what you want to do if you're Soul, you want to send one guy straight across right now, make sure he can scout to make sure that there's no one coming for them.
In the meantime, let's check in at Painan. We've got a similar situation, a great spot to share in terms of a hot drop. The river separates the two sides. It looks like Queso going to have a bit of a stronger position on the larger loot side, but they have to be worried. One of the best teams in the world, Froz, is staring across the river, hoping to start off with 4 easy points.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want it to be too aggressive. Remember, most of the points accumulated from placement itself. You don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to lose place. You want to keep them towards the end of the game.
Brazilian Killers decide to go to Ruins. It looks like it's uncontested. This is amazing news for them. The reason they got it, though, is because it's out in the middle of nowhere. They've got to cross 2 potential rivers. It's a long transition. However, they're going to be coming in kitted to the nines when it comes to those final fights.
Look, we can see that they're here all by themselves, but you want to be careful because they don't know. Someone might be lurking just outside by the small compounds and just watching them and saying, hey, now's the time to go, boys.
Speaking of lurks, let's check out with Senior up on top of the roofs. He's watching for Queso. He needs to see, are they pushing or are they going to leave? If they try to leave, he's got the SLR. He's watching the hill. He could potentially get that knock. Now we jump over to Paradise Resort, where XQuest is getting their loot on, and honestly, also uncontested. Jimmy out there looks like he smells a rat. Maybe thinks SSG is headed in his direction and wants to trap him.
I think he already spotted him, and he's just lurking here and taking it easy while his teammates are still looting. He's just making sure that they don't push them right now.
They definitely dropped, watched each other go down, and it looks like XQuest has decided they want to be aggressive. Remember, these guys fragged out during the early rounds. They're looking to keep those numbers high. They're one of those teams that's not as interested in placement as they are in straight up kills.
Exactly, they're an aggressive team. I like to see that, and we saw that they're straight on pushing towards SSG right now. They want to get those kills early on here.
But you know what? They're not the only people looking at Space Station Gaming. Seoul, a team that has been fighting since the beginning, even fighting to get here to Berlin, looks like they want to potentially take the fight early as they move up the hill. We see them start to climb up, take a little bit of an overlook position here. Is it better? Do you want to fight early here, Froz?
I mean, if you can get the upper hand, you can spot the team, you know that you can take out 2 of them straight away, do it. That means 2 points, and also you can get their loot.
We're not going to go ahead and seize. He's looking for those peaks, a little bit left and right, a little bit of wiggle. Viper now being covered as he makes his advance. It's a systematic push coming out of Seoul as they take turns leapfrogging point to point.
I mean, look at the utilities that Seoul have right now. Ronak and Viper, they only got 1 first aid between them both.
But worth noting, Viper is the one who's out in front. He's also the one with the tier 3 vest. That's what you want to do. The man who's best equipped, the man who's got the AR with the red dot, that's the guy you put out in front on these pushes.
This is why you might want to take the fight if you can risk it, because the quicker you can gather it up, the better.
Honestly, I think the big issue here, it is, there's the open. Viper gets the knock, and it's going to be covered. Juicy having covered. Spread around, it's going to be open. Juicy up into the tier tower, trying to catch a little bit of Overwatch, but it's too little, too late. SSG now working at a deficit.
Look at Angry, though. Angry is on the other side of the road, where 6S and Juicy is on the other side. Now, he got to be careful. He don't want to get caught by Soul as well. He might just play it safe here and try to see if he can catch someone off guard, or try to make the others of his from his team try to get their attention. And because if 6S and Juicy can get the attention of Soul, Angry could go for the flank itself and try to take them down from behind. And look at it, it's a little bit stalled. No one really wants to push it right now, and they're just taking it easy here. No really rush for it right now. And they want to take the time.
Nice little layup going to be covered. This is what I think Seoul is doing really. Buzz covering each other's back. Let's jump over to top. Esports, another team that's running a short, what we call like a short range flex, right? They've got 2 and 2. They're covering a hilltop and a push point. Sandhawk, one of those places where you can always be backstabbed. It is the king of the third party in return to the, considering this map.
Yeah, look at that. They also got a Pubg. They're refueling right now, getting ready. They want to use it.
Honestly, I like it. One of the issues for me on this map is there's not a ton of cover in some of these larger valley areas. And while getting blown up in a car is always, a truly scary thing, when you need the cover, when the last fight is in the open and there's only a couple of rocks to use, having the vehicle to sort of tackle to make a forced emergency rotation is always a good thing.
I mean, you can always use it as a decoy to draw the attention of the team as well. Make them shoot you, and then the rest of your team, they get the information, they know exactly where the enemies are.
Absolutely. You gotta remember, you can always ghost ride the whip a little bit and get people to draw a few shots away. Everyone loves shooting cars. I think it's one of my favorite pastimes for sure. Let's jump over to, it looks like Scars Black. Shimon making a good job of the loot. I mean, they haven't been contested yet. They haven't had a ton of issues, but they do have Queso nearby.
Yeah, they have Queso just next to them, so they gotta be careful. You don't want to run into them in the open.
I mean, you don't want to run to anybody in the open, but right now what we're seeing is sort of everyone waiting for the first shot. That idea that you don't want to be the one that engages because it gives away too much information. This is the information gathering phase of the rotations. Teams are going to be looking for a middle spot with at least a 30% chance of pulling the next circle towards them. So that's what we see. Everybody sort of off the fringes. If you're, you don't want to play the edge, especially here. You want to make sure you're as close to the center as humanly possible.
Coming in from GC. You have 2 guys in the combat itself holding it down while you have 2 guys outside. So if someone tries to crash you, you still have people on the outside that can do something about it.
You got to remember the format is placement heavy, so having that sort of extra backup, the extra life of worst case scenario, you lose 2 while
look at this.
All right, Old Boy looks like he's hunting for Nova. Unique and Nova starting to war it out. This is the beginning. Bandit gets knocked a little bit early. That's opened up the chance for Unique to be aggressive. He drops up the grenade, gets a nice toss. Is the cook going to be good? No, it's enough to send a little bit of a message here as Nova tries to form up and protect the Reds.
Unique got the upper hand here. They got the high ground. They got the comfort to play from. They can take it easy. They also got the knockout. So, I mean, take your time. Look at that.
What a shot. Old Boy takes Jin down with a beautiful 4X, and now he immediately relocates, never shoot twice from the same spot. Sees him go again, puts up the 4X spray, almost gets it. Meanwhile, Jin just counting the moments for the flush.
And right now, Unique is playing it safe. They get him, picking him off one by one, just by the book.
But that's it, is you want to keep moving, you want to be systematic, you don't want to overforce a flush, put yourself in a bad spot. Old Boy taking some fire as he advances, has a little bit of cover to get that first aid kit off, but only because Nagi is off to the right side, making sure that he can't get flanked. That is the key here. Always have your 4th man out watching your back. The fire back and forth, the reses have gone up. Looks like AY taking some serious damage as he's trying to play the same role on the opposite side as Nagi of finding that flank position. Yasha going around, but he's got to worry because it looks like Bigatron might not be too far away. They're hearing this. They might want to get involved.
This is a thing. The fight has been going on for a while, and he's scared that they'll get the third party from behind, so he's actually going back to watch back right now. Since the other guys on the team, they have the upper hand already.
AY got another knock, but very smart. Watching your back is a very big deal. AY hasn't had a chance to get himself back up to full, so it's becoming a bit of an impasse from 2 teams that want nothing less than to be in this situation. They've got a decent spot on the map, but everyone else now knows exactly where they are.
And no one really wants to move up, but look at that. AY goes down.
Yeah, with a nice little spray there from the distance. These guys are absolutely phenomenal. It's what they specialize in, is getting those mid-range sprays. Bandit looks like his toe is exposed. Takes the damage, has to duck back a little bit, but now it's just about aggression from Unique. Old Boy and Nagi going with a nice little push here, spraying the grass, making sure no one's hiding. Old Boy to the left, Nagi to the right. It's a 1-2 punch of thank you very much. And they go ahead and finish off.
One by one, only Chaoji is left right now from Nova. It looks like he might be trying to retreat because right now he can't do much about this situation for team.
When you're down to 1, you play for placement. Either you can't really go rogue. You know Unique's got the chance to loot. This is great news for them. The third party never caved. That means they have time to loot 3 boxes. They're not going to get pushed by the solo, and they can form back up and take a breath. That's an important part of PUBG. Sometimes you need to take that breath after a fight and replan what your next move is.
I mean, let's be honest, they're pretty central in the circles, so they didn't need to engage this fight at all. Nova, they could have tried to push back a little bit more, but they got stuck in a bad situation, in a bad spot there, because they had that good compound.
Meanwhile, let's jump over to RRQ, who is now in a fight with Queso. These guys have been watching each other for a little while, and Queso, remember, they dropped in the same spot. They told me, Talkies, we believe that we're one of the best in the world. We're tired of being disrespected as a team. We're going to drop with RRQ, we're going to fight Athena, and we're going to make them pay. And now's their chance to put their money where their mouths are.
Looking at it, it's a fair fight right now. No one's really doing any damage to each other.
Tell that to Axel, who took a little bit of a pop, and I think is maybe a little bit worried about the high ground advantage that RRQ Athena has over them right now. They're going to use that low and slow push style, making sure they're covering any kind of counter push coming from Team Queso.
I mean, both of the teams there are on the southern edge of the new circle, as we can see. So they don't really need to engage this fight either. But right now, they got to be careful because they started shooting the people nearby. We have a few teams nearby, and they heard the shots, they saw the information.
Not far away, a team that is nearby is the Brazilian Killers, BRK, as they look to smack down on RRQ, pushing up the hill, possibly choosing to get involved. The thing is, RRQ, all of these teams, they're playing very close to the edge. They're not in the best, position for sort of the next circle. So when you get caught in these long engagements here on the edge, like we're seeing a couple of these teams on the mini-map right now, it doesn't set you up for the endgame, Frauds. It hurts you because it's just a non-win for whichever team comes out on top on the edge.
I mean, let's be honest, the soft part of the new circle, it's kind of close to the center of the last circle, and you want to avoid that because that's where everybody's grouping up. We can see the points like you had Purple Mood. They're all by themselves, but Chalchi from Nova Esports that is still up there.
So we got a massive amount of players, 60 players alive, all 16 Steam teams still in. Nova down to 1 player, and SSG has lost 1 player. Everyone else working as fours right now, and that is a big part of working for placement towards the end of the map. But that also means Chaos cannot be far away, Frauds. BRK moving forward, RQ spots, was down, here's the Maul, he's going to load up, nice throw.
करते हुए सुसु को यहाँ पे और उसको आग में प्रवेश कर दिया। आग से गांड जल्दी भी आग हो गई, जरा सी लड़की गांड बची है, दोनों की गांड बच चुकी है, ग्रेनेड आया कि स्मोक आया, ग्रेनेड फेंके जा रहे हैं, अटैक करते आ रहा है क्योंकि 6-9 G9 ने सारी गाड़ियों ने यहाँ पे G9 को रश करते हुए G9 बहुत के बंदों को नॉक करते हैं, RRQ की फुल फॉर्म में नहीं एक बंदे को नॉक करते हुए एक नॉक है, देखते क्या होगा RRQ नंबर 1 टीम, देखते कैसे उन्होंने भाग गए, उनकी गांड फटी, क्या बड़ी कहां से आ गया, पीछे से बड़ी गया है, पीछे से बड़ी गई थे, पीछे से फायर हुआ है RRQ पे।
They're getting systematically dismantled. Killed is not a word enough for the situation they caught themselves in. RRQ Athena has just read them their rights, and they have to run. They're last survivor. I think he needs to extricate himself from this situation.
Yeah, I mean, we're still only in phase 2. We got a new circle coming up in just a few seconds here. And then we go, oh my god, it's going up to the north.
That's a bit of a heat to the north there. I'm not sure how these teams are going to survive. We had a lot of teams stacked up in the south. Remember, we talked about a lot of teams packing up on the big island, but it was all on the south side. So we're going to see a